which one this is. You got some chonk to him. So yeah, what I like to do is before I even cut the screws down, sometimes I just like to see if they'll fit. Because what this kind of does is it almost forces I don't know, like a threading in there. What I used to do is I would heat the screw up and then put it in. And what that does is it kind of heats up the plastic a little bit. You let it stay in there a little bit and it cools, and then unscrew it. And so it kind of leaves a little, I don't know, like a makeshift threading in there, but I don't really do that anymore. I found that it's not necessarily necessary the way I do my work now. So that fit in really nice. We're gonna go ahead and once again, we're gonna cut off a chunk of this guy. We've got way more room to work in this one than we did with the Captain America one. So we're gonna take this. This is a tougher screw. There we go. Golly. That boy drinks his milk. Okay. So now there's that. And we're gonna go ahead and cut the rest of the screws while we're at it. Go ahead and knock them all out. I like to do that whenever I'm working on these, just so you can kind of, whenever it's time to put all the screws in, you're good to go. But before you cut them, once again, make sure you go in and test each one of these screws. This looks like it didn't really, there we go. The hole looked really small. I've actually fixed a few of these Spider-Man figures. There was a guy that wanted his bicep joints tighter. So what I would do is go in and add a screw, like a bigger screw, and it just made the bicep joints tighter. That one's gonna need to be a little shorter as well, because the Spider-Man, you can see, doesn't have a whole lot of room, like right here. That's a very small amount of real estate to work in. And sometimes you got to go back in with your drill bit. I don't know, for some reason this one's not wanting to play ball. We had issues with this a minute ago too. And I am using a bit of a bigger screw on this one too, so that might be why that one's not going in and the rest of them did. Gosh, can't seem to get a, there we go. Put that one all the way in. This one might actually go all the way in without any, I'll have to see if this will, I've actually had to fix these before. So my issue with this guy is I think that his biceps were made too tight. You can see, like, trying to move this one here. It's got a pretty mean ratchet in there. And so what I gotta try to do is take this. What happens here is you might end up stretching out the hole that you made. So what we need to do on this is we need to heat this up. And then what I'm gonna do is heat this up and either put a small flathead screwdriver in here to try to move this piece out. We wanna get to this right here, the disc, and basically get inside here with like a small flathead to try to loosen this up and make it a little more loose. So that's what we're gonna do first on him. So what we've done here is we've heated up Thor, and we're going to basically, I'm trying to get, this is gonna look scary, but these are pretty resilient figures. I'm trying to get this little screwdriver in here to see if I can't loosen up what's going on here, because something's obviously stopping this arm from moving the way it's supposed to move. I should be able to just grab this and move it over, but it's not bending, and I think this is what caused it to break in the first place. I'm wondering, since this is a softer plastic, if I could just, after heating this up, I wonder if I could pop out this arm and get a better grab on it. And I'm thinking I can. I'm gonna heat this up and pop out the shoulder. So with a little heat around the edges here, I removed this from Thor, and you can just see how hard this thing is to get all the way bent in. The ratchet is just like really giving us some pushback. It moves, so it's not stuck, it's just hard to move, which is why this broke off. This had a much longer peg in it, and if I put a screw in here, and it's just gonna do the same thing probably. So what I did was I heated it out, popped it out. What I do whenever I heat these up, which is what I'm about to do, I grip with a pair of pliers like so, and I'm gonna heat this up, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in basically like this and just try to go inside here and pry it a little bit to loosen it up. All right, so now that we've heated this up, I'm gonna go in here and just basically try to, I don't know if we can get this thing to kind of loosen up a little bit. A lot of times what you can do is try to find out like where the ratchet is and just kind of move that around in there. There's usually something that's stopping it from moving the way it's supposed to move. And still just really, really tight. Part of me wants to insert the, see, here we go. Now we got a good grip on it. Okay, well that makes me feel better because it's gonna be in there tighter, and I think we've got this thing way looser. It's just kind of hard to grip the peg with my hands. Shot out of there like a rocket. All right, yeah, cool. I think what I need to do is actually take a bigger screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, and put it in here, but it looks like we've got a pretty good, it's definitely, yeah, we've definitely got something going on here. It's moving a lot easier. So I guess we just had to break up some of the plastic and whatever's in here that was just stopping it from moving. So heat it up one more time, and I've got a bigger screwdriver. Try to basically get around every edge. Trying to be very careful not stab myself with a dang screwdriver. I know this looks like I'm being pretty aggressive with it, but this is really, really strong plastic. And if it, for some reason, you can see like a dent right here. Once I heat that up again, it'll go away. Like I never did anything to it, which is pretty cool. Now, if you tear something, that's a problem. But we're not gonna be able to tear anything. Gosh, this thing's hard to move. Still. Yeah, I didn't think that was gonna work. See that? Almost lost a finger there. Okay, yeah, I think that should do it. The only other option is to go in and cut this all the way, take it out, sand this down, put it back in, and try to super glue it back together, which is not what I like to do, but sometimes you have to do that. Especially if one of these breaks, you have to do that, so. Okay, I think that should be good. Let's take this and we'll put this on. So we're gonna try to, I want to say I had to re-screw this earlier, or re-drill this. Okay. There we go. Man. Oh, there we go. That's working fine. Don't want to push from the screw here. Once we also, this is, the plastic is so soft right now, but we're gonna super glue this in. That'll harden, and then we'll be able to move this around the way we want to. That's good. That fits the way we want. Put this on the edge of the screwdriver. Have a super glue. Make sure that goes in straight. And we'll let that dry. We'll heat up this shoulder again. We'll pop this back in, and then we should be good to go. All right, so now that we've got this in here and loosened up, you can see that this is doing exactly what we want now. And I've heated up this arm. We should be able to pop this guy on.
Bill Maru, Toy Canics.